few years ago, a client who owns this property, which is pretty much in the middle of the Central Basin of Tennessee, which is where the Cedar Glades are found, asked me to put in an orchard. And alongside the orchard, I decided to run a little experiment, which is this bed where I'm growing Cedar Glades plants. The Cedar Glades are an interesting geological feature found only in this part of the world. It's limestone right near the surface, and there are plants that do very well here and some that are only found here. And I want to test basically the garden worthiness of a lot of these plants. The first one here is this beautiful, this is Rotibita pinnata. It is gray-headed coneflower, so called because the immature blooms, just as they're opening, you can see it's gray at the cone where the actual fertile flowers are. These are called the ray florets. These are where the actual seeds happen in here. This is related to black-eyed Susan and that whole family of Rudbeckia type things. You can see it has kind of lacy foliage, grows in big stands. They get maybe, I'd say 3.5, 4 feet tall, tops. And for your full sun garden, this is a wonderful background plant. Truly gives a ton of color for a while. And pollinators love it, which is also a great thing. I see a bumblebee over there right now. This shrub I am super excited about. There are quite a few forms of dwarf Eastern red cedar, which is Juniperus virginiana. It's actually a juniper, not a cedar. And the most commonly grown one is one called gray owl, which has kind of a blue-green shade of foliage, and it actually gets pretty big. I've seen it get 8 feet tall. This is another one, which is kind of this lighter silvery blue, which I just love. This is called gray guardian. Very beautiful plant. You can see it only wants to get maybe 40 inches tall, but it'll spread 10 feet wide. The one you're looking at is totally unpruned. It's never seen the clippers, but you can feather it back and keep it in shape and keep it restrained. Wonderful, easy grower. So this is a plant that we never feed this. It's not been fertilized. It's just living in the native soil here, which is moderately okay. It's not a great soil. A very rugged plant, never a problem on it, really beautiful. This plant is relatively new and not easy to find on the retail market. However, you can ask for it. And like most junipers, it's not hard to propagate. And I expect you'll see more of it in the trade soon. Grasses are a natural component of Cedar Glades, and also many grasses are very garden worthy, and this is certainly one. This is little blue stem, a native grass that's widespread in this part of the world. Basically a prairie plant. You can see it's got purplish tinges and this kind of steely blue-green. Very beautiful, and makes a slowly spreading tuft of itself. It's worth seeking out. This is another verbena that I just love, and look how well it is doing here. This has been in the ground just this year, and it was a small plant when it started. Kathy's Candy, and candy is spelled with a K. I first saw this plant at the University of Tennessee's Jackson Experiment Station. It is just spectacular. It starts blooming like most native verbenas in, say, April, mid to late April, and it goes until hard frost. This is like Homestead purple in that regard. It's constantly in bloom. You can see it's been blooming. These are old bloom heads making seeds now. New buds coming on. It will not stop. Great looking plant. Nothing seems to bother it. I highly recommend this. And I have seen this in garden centers, so although it's pretty new to the trade, you can find it. Here's another low grower, sort of front of the border kind of plant that has an extremely long bloom period, like pretty much all summer. And it's a really great plant. It has the unfortunate common name of wild petunia. It's not a petunia. It's Ruellia humilis, and which humilis means low, humble, if you will. And it is just this lovely, soft, lavender blue bloom that goes with everything. And you can see it spreads gently. It self-sows. You can see babies coming around, but it's not a thug. This is a great plant, and I have seen it available in some better garden centers you can find it, especially places that specialize and carry natives. There are several bulbs that grow in cedar glades, and this is probably the most common that you can find. This is Allium cernuum, the nodding onion. This is coming into bloom. You can just see here. They tend to be anywhere from sort of a soft mauve pink to white. These are white. I grew these from seed, so you never know what you're gonna turn up with here. The clumps get bigger and they'll drop seed around themselves and make a larger group. But once again, not remotely invasive. They're great looking. They bloom at a time when you want flowers to bloom, high summer, and they don't mind the heat like all Cedar Glades plants. They're super tough and rugged. This is Verbena Homestead purple, and it's the native Canada rose vervain, as they call it. This is widely found, this species, in the Cedar Glades. Homestead purple is a particular color that comes out this very vibrant violet color. It's darker in cooler weather. It's been blasting hot the last 2 weeks, so this is a little lighter. The heat bleaches it out a little bit. But this is a great plant. You can see it spreads, blooms from April till hard frost, does not stop. Pollinators love verbenas. They're just frequently butterflies just dancing all over this. And it's a wonderful, easy plant to grow. Coreopsis is found widely all in Tennessee, including in the glades. This is a lovely little plant that is just going by now. There are several kinds of Coreopsis. The one in the glades is lanceolata, and it is high summer bloomer. If you can see this is still trying to put out some new flowers, even though it has bloomed heavily in the past. And this is another pollinator magnet. They just love these things. Easy to grow, self-sows, but once again, not a thug, not hard to take care of, and a very satisfying garden plant. Like I say, there are different varieties. Some types will get like 2.5, 3 feet tall. Some types stay shorter, like this type, but well worth searching out Coreopsis and finding out which kind you like. One of the iconic Cedar Glades plants is Tennessee coneflower. This is a plant found only in the Cedar Glades of a few counties in Tennessee. And originally, it was found by Elsie Quartermain, a botanist. For a while, it was thought to be extinct until some populations were refound and protected. And it has these stiff stems and blooms for a long period of time. These are a really interesting plant in that they always face east. The flowers are always, you can see which direction is east by where they turn themselves to. It's a really wonderful plant, and with this very stiff, hairy foliage and a really nice habit, nice clumping habit. And it never flops. And if you have a setting that is blasting sun, soil, not so great, maybe even rock outcrops, there are a ton of really good and very garden-worthy plants from the Cedar Glades. You can find plants that will thrive for you and give you color. Stuff has been blooming here since April and will continue blooming through October. Not just the plants I've shown you, but other stuff will come into bloom. There are a lot of plants available that are very worthwhile and bring such loveliness to your garden. And the fact that they're local means they're tough, they're rugged, and they want to live where you are.
For inspiring garden tours, growing tips, and garden projects, visit our website at volunteergardener.org or on YouTube at the Volunteer Gardener channel, and like us on Facebook.